There is a club of mothers that nobody wants to be a part of. They all lost their children to gun violence. The data is speaking for itself tonight. A record number of shootings in 2020 have rocked our city, but the problem has been tearing families apart in this community for years. Tonight, Gabrielle is showing us the life-changing effects of gun violence through the eyes of 3 local mothers.
Unless you actually lost a child, this pain that we're carrying, you would never understand it.
Stand for what's right. It could be your loved one. It could be yours.
He can actually see my son with the paramedics working on him, about to put him in the ambulance. And we're just asking the police, is that our boy? It would mean everything to have some kind of closure.
Damion was my only boy, and he was a family man.
Once I held him, it was just an unbreakable bond. And it was instant love all over again.
He loved playing basketball. He was a football player. You know, his favorite NFL was Eagles. He was his mama's boy.
They find strength in the morning to wake up each day.
And I'm gonna keep fighting to my last breath.
Holding on to what's left.
When I look at this picture with his eyes, it's like he's watching me.
Knowing that their sons are never coming back home.
And I look, it's like he's watching my every move. Like, I'm watching you, mama.
38-year-old Damion Morton shot and killed in 2017. He was found inside his car.
Being at the hospital, knowing that there was nothing that I could do, you know, mothers feel like they can be there with their children, but like it was out of my hands. I couldn't do anything to help my child.
3 years before that, 24-year-old Cory Crowe Sr. was also found inside his vehicle, shot to death.
At the funeral home. It was the first time I got to see him. Then I finally realized, yep, it is my baby.
In 2019, a drive-by shooting took the life of 19-year-old Christian Gwynn.
When I look up, my husband's on 43rd, and I'm on Market, and we're screaming his name. And I can still hear myself screaming for him. I'm saying, Chris, where are you? I'm here, where are you?
Damion's mother remembers her son spending much of his days looking after her and his stepdaughter.
He came over every day. I mean, if we went to, we had dinner together, you know, we would do things together. It's a struggle some days to keep going. Like my son's picture would be in the living room, and I would avoid going in the living room. I would go around the house. I mean, I wouldn't check my mail unless I came outside and got my mail, because it would hurt my heart to see my son's picture and knowing that my son would not walk back through them doors anymore.
Cory was hoping to open a barber school. When he was murdered, his only son was 5 years old.
I believe Cory's in a better place. But I tell you who is hurting and who's in pain and who is suffering is Cory's son and me. And that's why I wanted that blanket here. He was at the house. He has a little brother. He went to his little brother and said, "Come here, Sean, come here." He's like, "Okay." He said, "Come on in here so I can go in the living room and sit on my daddy's lap." The blanket, the throw. You hurting families, you hurting these kids. This got to stop. It's gotta stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ugh.
Christian set his heart on becoming a volunteer firefighter. His mom says before his murder, the 19-year-old had just taken a class to pursue his dream.
My son would have gave anybody the shirt off his back. My son donated his eyes, his ventricles of his heart, and the muscles in his legs. So somebody right now is seeing the world through my son's eyes. And I'm hoping whoever's looking through his eyes see the dreams that he had and have the same ambition that my son had in his life.
With a record number of homicides in the city this year, these mothers know firsthand the pain of waiting for answers. Some of them waiting as long as 6 years because their cases are still unsolved.
So I feel like my son's case and other mothers' cases are just getting pushed farther back and no answers. This is a club that they could have left me out of. I didn't have to be in this.
I don't forgive the person that shot my son. I won't forgive the person that shot my son. That sounds cold and heartless. But you took my son, and that was cold and heartless. And you don't get forgiveness. You need justice, and you need to be in jail.
Do you have any idea who might have murdered your son?
I don't, and that is the thing that probably puzzles me the most, because I don't never know if I'm even entertaining that person at some point. I don't know. I don't know if that person possibly could have came to the funeral, if that person could have came to my house. I have no clue.
Since her son's murder, Rosa Smith used her pain to find purpose by starting the ACE Place, a nonprofit promoting entrepreneurship. It offers children in the community a safe place where they can come work with mentors.
I have to be his voice. I have to be able to speak. You silenced him, but I will not be silenced. We want to give these children opportunities and let them know there's a better way. You don't have to, do that, and we got to give them experiences.
As the years go passing by, the patience wears thin.
You don't understand, once you shoot that gun, you can't bring that bullet back. This is not a video game. My son's life won't come back at the end of this run. You can't put another quarter in that machine. You took my son's life.
But the grieving mothers are not losing hope on the day when they'll see justice for their sons.
That hope I do keep alive every day.
If you see something, say something. If you don't, it's gonna continue on.
It's been a year and I'm still crying. It's never gonna go away. But it's somebody there that understands your pain. And as long as I got breath to breathe, I'm gonna try to fight for these gun violence victims.
And as she said, it is no video game.